Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on another episode on Faith Stories. If this is your first time, I believe that God led you here. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back. So, are you joining this channel and you don't believe that God exists? Or are you just tired of everyday life and you're looking for some form of encouragement? Welcome to Faith Stories. We chat with everyday people like you and myself who have experienced God in different areas of their lives, and they can prove beyond reasonable doubt that they indeed experienced the intervention of God. So today I have with me Dumebi. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So can
Thank
you
you.
start out by introducing yourself and just share with us? We would just like to know you a little bit. How did you start your journey with God? How did you come to know God?
Thank you. Like you already introduced, my name is Dumebi. Hello, everyone. So I grew up, or I was born into a Christian family. So I was, as growing up or coming up, if you are born into a Christian family, you have to go to church. You have to know the Lord. You don't have any choice. But I knew the Lord right from when I was a child. And growing up, it honed my faith in God because my father was a pastor and he's still a pastor. So I got to know God by myself at the later stage of my life when I was a teenager, not just because I was just told to, but I just got to experience God myself and seek Him personally. So my faith has always been with me. And yeah, that's really much about how I can say, that's really much about what I can say about my faith. It's always been part and parcel of me. I would just say it grew better and deeper over the years, especially transitioning from childhood into adulthood. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that part of you with us. So now let's get
Mhm.
into the story. I know your story is of that person that God helped to find their life
Yeah.
partner. So can you walk us through your waiting season, the challenges that you faced, and how God showed up along the way? I want you to highlight how you knew that no, this couldn't have happened if it wasn't for God.
Okay, so for me, my waiting season was horrible, and that was because I chose to do it on my own. Like I felt like I knew what was best for me. So, growing up, and there was this like idea of what your partner should look like, especially coming from a Christian home. But at some point, I was beginning to derail because the fleshy, or would I say my flesh, was leading me to something that was not of God. So during my waiting period, before I handed up and handed over to God, I was pursuing flesh. That's just the honest truth. I was pursuing what God did not want for me. And so it was filled with a lot of heartbreaks, it was filled with a lot of rejections. And I'm sure God was pretty much just sitting down at a corner saying, when you are done, you come back to me. Shebi, I gave you a blueprint of what your marriage and what your husband should look like, but I wanted, the flashy, supermodel and all of that. That's just what I had in my head. And the waiting period was very crazy to me. And then the minute I decided that, okay, God, I am sorry, I am tired of doing this. alone. I am tired of doing this by myself. I went on both my knees and I asked the Lord for mercy. Like it was like a 7 day cry of mercy for me. Like I knew that, oh yeah, it was time. I asked the Lord for mercy because I desired marriage. I didn't want marriage because that's just the next thing for me to do. Because at the time I was just 25 years old. And to the people of the world, it's like, ah, you still have time. But for me, I desired marriage. I wanted to be a partaker of the beautiful institution that God has created, which is marriage. So I went to my knees. I asked the Lord for mercy. And then there was a strong urge to rekindle with an old friend that I had fell out with. I just got this speaking from the Holy Spirit, say, reach out to this person. And I eventually did, and it wasn't up until two 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks later, that we got very close. And then she posted my picture, like two of my pictures, on her WhatsApp status. And coincidentally, as at the time my to-be husband then was watching status, he had just come out of another rejection, like another relationship that, or another relationship that was supposed to be, but he was rejected. But so, and it was just coincident that at the time she posted my picture, he was also like, oh, another one down bites the dust. So it was like divinely timed, because if he wasn't available, he probably would have scrolled through my pictures on her status. And yeah, so he saw it. And it's just very funny that my friend posted two of my pictures. That was weird, because when she posted it that day, I was like, why not post one? And she posted two. So he saw the first one. He's like, nah, I'm just, and he saw the second one. And I was like, okay, I have to reach out. Like, oh, yeah, I have to reach out. So it was just divinely timed. And yeah, but that had come after a lot of inner work and a lot of silent moments with God. That was like, okay, my hands are up. Please take the wheel and just move
Mm.
ahead, and just take, and God's just like, okay, you're done. You're done with everything you were doing. All right. Now it's time to step in. And he did
Wow.
step in and divinely prepared everything for me.
Wow, that's
So
that's amazing. What
yeah.
you said your friend posted your picture. Why did she
Yeah.
post your picture? Was it your birthday or were you celebrating something,
Not not my birthday,
milestone?
not any celebration, nothing at all. Like she just posted two of those pictures like randomly. And to think that when I had taken those pictures, the day had passed. Like it wasn't like, oh, when a friend posts a picture today, you're like, oh, that's good. You take a screenshot and you repost. This was like a picture I taken since that she just had in her gallery, and she posted like two of them on her
Wow.
WhatsApp
And did
status.
did she ever
Yeah.
tell you why she posted, or she was just glad that, oh, my friend is
She
back?
literally, she literally had no. She didn't even think, because it was. I think it was 2 weeks later. She literally had no reason. She just posted it, and that's not even the first time she was going to post me, when we were still friends, anyways. And I'm going to go back to the point of divine timing. I tell my followers that divine timing matters a lot. This my husband. We went to the same school together. When I say school, I mean university. But it was
Oh,
just one of those persons that I know maybe I've seen once. We had lots of mutual friends. Even this, my friend I reconnected with, was also his friend. Even after uni, I used to hang out with this friend a lot on the island, and he was also a friend. But never for one day have we ever crossed paths or said hello, said hi. Because I knew if he was in that time of my fairy tale doing it on myself that I had met him, I probably would have overlooked him because I wanted my own will. So God actually kept it. God protected it. God timed it. And when I thought that I was doing what was best for me, God had already prepared what he wanted for me. He just needed the right time. Because at the time I met my husband, I'd surrendered. I had given my all to Jesus Christ. I had said, you know what, God, I want what you want for me. Just take the wheel and have mercy. So everything just worked together. Like the Bible says, everything worked together for good. So yeah, that was
wow.
basically what it was. Yeah.
So when you met, I'm sure that between the time when you are like, God, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm done trying to figure it out on my own. And when you met your husband, I would take a guess that you probably met other people within that time frame. How did you know for sure that this person is like the answer, you know, to my prayer, and this is God's choice for my life.
Okay, so the one thing I spoke to God about was peace. Whenever I heard, before I got married, whenever I heard married couples say, "Oh, when I met her, I just knew they were the one," I used to get very upset. Like, what do you mean? If people don't want to give us the secret, don't give us the secret. Which one is when I just met him? I just
Like
knew you were the
this,
one.
okay.
Like, please, I beg, I beg, I beg. I used to be so angry. Like, and he just, my mom used to say that when she met my dad, she just knew because my parents, by the grace of God, are like 30 years in marriage now. So whenever my mom speaks to me, she's always like, "Oh, when I met your dad, I just knew." I used to get angry. Like, what do you mean you just know? I beg you. So, one of the things I told God was that I don't want so much. When I meet this person, I just want to have peace. I
Hmm.
want to feel peace. I don't want the fake peace that I will say to everyone, "Oh, he gives me so much peace." And then in the room at night, I'm like, but wait, why am I like this safe? Why is this one like this? So I wanted peace. So the first day we spoke, because we were in different countries at the time, the first day we spoke on the call, when he said hello, it was as if the angels walked in, opened the curtains of my room, and let in light. That's how I
Ooh.
felt. Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. It felt like I was in a dark room and they just came in, opened up the curtains for light and fresh air to get in. It was so peaceful. I've been with men in the past where I deceived myself. I was peaceful with their spirits and I was in peace being with them, but that was a lie. But this one I felt genuine space. The way he spoke to me,
Hmm.
we spoke for about 6 hours the first day we met. If you ask me what we spoke
Ooh.
about, honestly, I don't even remember. I don't even know what we spoke, but yeah, I felt peace. And I didn't have so much expectations because I'd gotten to the point where I was like, you know what? I had a long list. I had whatever it is I wanted to do, but I didn't have much expectations at the time. So I just
Hmm.
told God that the basic things I need from you is someone that has peace and someone that loves the Lord, someone that genuinely loves the Lord, a born again Christian. And speaking with him that day just reassured me. And I knew, like, it was later on in my marriage when I got married, I was like, wait, oh, but you used to criticize people that they just know. Should be you now. You're saying that you just knew.
You have joined
but
them.
but I
You
genuinely
have joined
felt
them.
the peace. I've joined them, yeah. No, I genuinely felt the peace. And for me, it was like I never experienced a downtime with him. Because, sometimes in some relationships, you're like, oh, today is hot, tomorrow is cold, tomorrow is lukewarm. There was never a downtime. If for whatever is worth, it just spiraled, it just elevated and elevated. And every single day when I woke up, poof, I blessed the Lord that I found him just at the right
Hmm.
time. You know, it didn't even have a lot at the time. It was he was just coming up. He was just so it wasn't even as if there was like any financial gain for me. No. I was also doing
Hmm.
very well in Lagos. I just saw the light of the Lord as the Lord wanted me to see it. So that was when I knew. And even without seeing his face, without seeing him in person,
Hmm.
I said yes to him. Yeah. So yes. Yeah, that was basically it.
Wow. Okay, so thank you very much
Mhm.
for sharing that. And it's interesting that you have joined the when they ask you, how did you know? I just knew.
Yeah.
I just knew.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's interesting how
Mm,
God uses things that were like, no, that's not true. How it then makes it real in our lives where you know that,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that. Okay, so to wrap this up, I know that waiting can be super hard,
Yeah.
especially when a promise feels delayed or where you're like, God, you promised this. If you've promised it, why can't you just do it? Right?
Mm,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know that I've done this, I have done that, but yeah, God, why can't you just do it? What would you say to someone that, is in a place where they're trusting God, either for spouse, either for a job. It can be anything, waiting comes in different forms. What would you say to someone? And if you like to speak specifically to the one that ties to the miracle that you received, you can speak to that as well. What would you say to someone who is waiting for their spouse or any long awaited, promise where God has said, yes, it's like God saying to someone, you're going to be a billionaire. And everything is just not looking like it. The one plus one is not yielding the two that it's meant to yield, right? It
Hmm.
is like one
Yeah.
plus one is giving you minus 50, and you're like, what? This doesn't even make sense. What would be your word of encouragement to anyone listening to this that are currently in their own waiting season? Maybe let's even speak to a spouse, right? Where they're like, okay, yeah, you said all of these things, but I still don't get it because, yeah, God could have done it, but I'm in my 30s, I'm in my 40s, right? And if God did it for someone that is like in her 20s, why has He not done it for me? That's your word of encouragement.
Yes, so first off, I would say surrender yourself. Like whatever timeline it is that you think you know, whatever set, whatever goals, whatever it is that you have set for yourself that you think the Lord should follow. First off, let go of that. You need to surrender yourself. And I like to say to people that, especially when it comes to marriage, that this is not outside the will of God. The Lord looked at man and he said he ought not to be alone. So you are walking in the direction that the Lord has already created. You want what the Lord has created. You are not wanting what is bad, is good, and the Lord definitely know this. So you should just exercise a lot of patience. It's actually very hard, but just continue to be steadfast in your prayers. Ask God for lots of mercy, because I've realized that there are some kind of mercies that opens doors. There are some kind of mercies that grants favor. And they're just some kind of mercies that point you in the right direction. So it's not every time you go on your knees that you ask the Lord, oh, please give me a spouse. Please, I'm this one. No, no, no. Sometimes ask the Lord for mercy. Sometimes just thank the Lord for what is going to do in your life. And just know that He will not let His time pass you by. Like He already knows when. Imagine if at the time, at 22, 23, I had met my current husband. I would have just looked over him because I would feel like that's not what I wanted, or that's not the will of God for my life, because I was so short-sighted at what I wanted for myself. But when the time is right, the Lord made it happen. So just continue believing. I might have gotten my husband in my 20s, but some still get their husband in their 30s, in their 40s, and they live a very beautiful and blissful life according to the will of God. So every day you wake up, remind yourself that number one, I am not doing or praying for anything outside of the will of God. Ask the Lord for lots of mercy. Thank Him in advance and just hold on to your faith. Don't let the pressure or the whole rush make you settle for what the Lord has not want, what the Lord does not want for you. Just hold on, and in His due time, He will definitely settle you. There are also people that got married younger than I did, and I felt like, oh, if this person can get married at this age, why can't I? But I realized why it didn't happen that way. And by the time you get yours, you will look back and say, God, I thank you, because if I had received this person at this particular age group, at this particular age I wanted, I probably would have fumbled it. So the Lord is never late. If you go to my page, I always say that God is never late. Is never late. He will settle you in due course. So please hold on to the cause. Wake up every day. Choose to show up. Choose to believe in God. And just watch how God will take control from there on.
Wow,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So I have to
Thank you
say.
very much. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Maybe.
thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
sharing
very much.
words. And if you're listening to this and you're in your period of waiting, I always say that waiting is part of how we live as humans. One minute you're waiting for a child, the next minute you're waiting for a job, the next minute you're waiting for, we wait for different things. It's different seasons. And, there are certain principles that can carry us through. Just like Dumebi got to a point where she's like, God, okay, I've reached the end of myself. Jesus, take the wheel. You are the one that created me. You have the manual for my life, and you know the direction in which it should go. So I'm giving this all up to you. And I'd like to leave you with the words of Matthew 11, verses 28 to 30. Message translation. I love the message translation. He says, are you tired? Are you worn out? Are you burned on religion? He says, come to me, get away with me, and you will recover your life. I will show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced readings of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you will learn how to live freely and how to live lightly. I don't think there's any greater assurance that we can ever get from anyone in life, aside from these words in Matthew 11, 20, 30. When you are discouraged, can you pick it up and just read it and surrender to God and say, God, I want what you want for me? Because what I want for me might actually bring destruction. What I want for me might not bring me the joy that I deserve. It might not give me the happiness that I deserve. But what God wants for you will give you everything and will make you live freely and will make your life very, like you will live in abundance because that is the God that I know. That is the God that you maybe knows. And that is the God that you will know as well. I hope with this episode you're encouraged to see that. See, God is in the business of doing things. It was just to maybe surrendering, and God said, reconnect with your friend. You're like, I'm sure even you will have wondered.
Yeah.
I'm asking for a brother, you're saying I should reconnect. Is he a woman that I'll marry? What was that, God? And it gives
Yeah.
instructions like that seems very absurd. It seems very remote. And it's just in us surrendering, listening, that it will be able to carry us on the wings of grace. I hope you have learned one or two things today. And I hope that your faith is encouraged. And I hope that you have found something to just hold on to see and continually say to yourself that God is good, God is kind, and He wants to give you a very beautiful life. Until we come your way again on our next episode. Bye bye.